Hello and welcome to a Toonkind game. My name is Winona and I'll be your DM for this evening. Our game is called Ink on the Clock Tower. I'm very excited about this. I got a wonderful group of players and friends here today. And does everyone is everyone ready for this?
As we'll ever be.
Hi, why don't you introduce yourselves from top to bottom?
Hi, I'm Arthur. I'll be playing with TikTok Chicken, and I'm very excited to meet this wonderful group of players. When will they get here?
Harsh.
Rude.
We
Sorry.
love you too, bitch.
Hi, I'm Candlestick, and today I'm going to be playing Dr. Crystal Everlight, who I'm sure is going to have an absolutely wonderful time this game.
Lol.
Hello,
Oh.
I am Oatmeal, and I will be playing the professor. He's gotten himself into some trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, he has.
He's a real kind alien who looks like a human, time traveler and space traveler, and yeah.
And holder of a lack of impulse control.
Yeah.
I'm not letting him forget this.
No.
Feel like my character is the only one who has a measure of impulse control. Hi everyone, I'm next. I'm Whis. I'm playing Selli Alamos, who is she's just sitting here, man. She's just here. She's been at work. She's trying to make the most of life right now. And all of you lot are getting into mischief.
She's just trying to run her school.
Yeah.
And that leaves me. Hi everyone, I'm Vwild, as always on the bullshit, and rude now. And I am playing Detective Lin Stagehand, who has had the most delightful past few hours, emotionally tormenting someone and getting the Furby law.
Yeah,
Oh god.
yeah. Time Weird's a little bit wonky, people. All right, to get you up to date, this is technically after the FPS off the record, where the professor went to see Chief Luma. However, at the same time, it's also after peeling back the truth. Basically, what happened in off the record was basically the professor got into trouble. He ran back to Chief Luma, who called the all hands on deck, which ironically during that same FPS at the same time stuff was happening with the detective. She captured a man. She got in a fight. She traumatized him, and now Chief Luma has called her to the university.
You're missing important information. It wasn't Lin that traumatized him. It was Mira.
I mean, fair. But
Honestly, both of them did, because Lin gave the order of just emotionally ruin this man.
yeah.
And Mira's just like, yes, boss.
She delights in it. She's one of my most morally grey characters, and she was enabled and ran with it.
Yeah. And I assume that and I assume that Chief Luma tried to get a hold of Chifley, but he was busy, so he called Crystal, and thankfully she could come in.
Please pick up.
You know, it would-
Is at work.
It would be funny if he was currently stuck in a museum in Toontown.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh god.
Chicken.
You know what? That's probably what's going on.
Oh no.
Well,
What
no,
the
because Scribble
hell
has
happened to Chiv? What
Oh.
put the
Oh
titty-
yeah, that's true.
What have you done to Titty Twink?
He's fine. He's got unlimited spell slots.
I was was gonna put that to say before all this happened, but honestly, if we can't make that work, Scribble doesn't have to be here tonight.
You
I mean, it's up to you. I was just I took an opportunity. I saw an opportunity and I took it.
Honestly, it's better than my excuse. We'll run with it. It says the reason why Chipley and Scribbles aren't here because they're both in a museum.
Oh my
Fighting
goodness.
ninjas.
They're doing what? I love
They're traumatizing ninjas.
You know what? I support this wholeheartedly. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm guessing TOC came to give. Say TOC wanted to visit Selli for moral support, and that's why they are at the university.
TOC came for completely innocuous reasons, fully expecting something to happen. Like they packed. They sharpened their pitchfork. They packed for a couple days longer than they needed to be there, and they just were grimly, "I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to speak to Selli and be a help."
Yeah.
Until things happen.
Yeah. So let's just say to do the opening scene of Selli having a wonderful chat with TOC when the phone starts ringing.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Let me just quickly answer this.
TOC looks just very grim and just like, "I think you'd better."
She'll head over and she'll pick up the it's still the old person's phone, so it's stupidly ornate. She'll just pick it up, put it to her hand. Hello, this is Celeste.
Oh, good. You're still at in your office. I was hoping so. Let's say this is Chief Luma.
Oh, Chief, it's good to hear from you. How can I help?
TOC puts their teacup down.
I need you to stay where you're at right now. Unfortunately, some things have come up very suddenly, and do you know where your husband is? Or soon to be husband. Sorry, you're still he's still your fiance, isn't he? I'm sorry.
Oh, well, I'm sure you're on the guest list, Chief, so you'll definitely know when it's formalized. But Scribbles is on an excursion with one of his friends at the moment.
Oh, where is he?
I believe they went to a museum in Toontown.
Okay, that's good. He should be far away, and I'll send him a buddy plane to make sure. Okay,
If you
I will
haven't heard
explain.
from him in response to that plane in a few days, do contact me directly, won't you?
Of course, but
He has
for
a
right now,
history of planes
unfortunately,
getting lost.
there. Sorry, I'm a little bit. Unfortunately, some things came up very suddenly, and we need to have an emergency meeting. Please stay in your office right now, and we will come to you.
Oh, all right. How many are you expecting? Would my office do, or do we need a meeting room?
Let's go. There should be enough room in your office.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll stay here.
All right, thank you. And he hangs up.
Quick! She's just gonna look at the phone for a second and then look over at TOC.
TOC is already getting out more like mugs. They don't even look like concerned or mad. They're just resigned. This is the resigned off chicken.
The resigned off chicken. Oh dear. And she's just gonna sort of look at them and yes, I think that may be a smart move. Oh dear. And she's gonna go and get some notepads out of her desk and some extra pens. Like, we might need these.
Yeah.
TOC is just going to take up a post near the window and just keep a watch. Because who fucking knows what it is this time?
Yeah. And just to make, since there's a lot of people already, eventually you all just meet in Selli's office.
You know, the shiggles, I think Lynn's not even gonna bother with the long route. She's just gonna run the calculations in her head because she's the detective and just pick the door she thinks is most appropriate to just materialize through.
Well, I mean, you're
Excellent.
familiar with Selli's office door, so...
Indeed. So, that one's gonna be fun.
You know, just
that
for
probably means Crystal's the last to arrive since she's got the furthest to go.
true.
I mean, Lynn's also got to pack up her stuff. I mean, she had a great day before this.
Yeah. So probably the first people you see, you meet at the door, Selli, is the professor and Chief Luma.
Ah, there you are, Chief. Oh, come in. Professor. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes. I'm hoping
He
that.
is going to hear that tone and come over. Oh boy.
Oh, you are here, TOC. That's actually not a bad thing, since you are also involved with this case.
Deep, deep sigh. I sure am. They signed.
Yeah.
And what has happened?
Let's wait until the detective arrives along with Crystal.
We're gonna go make more tea.
I'm sorry for the sudden intrusion, Miss Alamos, but unfortunately this is an emergency, like I mentioned.
No, it's quite all right. The office is quite private, so it is suited for serious conversations. It's fine.
Still, I don't like to intrude, in a manner like this without due purpose, and I still like to apologize. As he probably, takes a seat in one of the seats in the room.
Oh yeah, there's ample chairs.
TUC is going to just sheepdog everyone into just places. Just sit, here's your tea. Sit, here's your tea.
Mm-hmm.
Can they roll insight on the professor? Because that's one of their best friends. And
Mm-hmm.
oh,
Yeah.
is physical dice okay, Winona?
Oh yeah, of course. Just put what you roll in the roll zone, just to keep track of everything all.
That is a 17.
Oh, okay, yeah. 17's good. He's been quiet, and yeah, other people have been talking. He's holding a few pieces of paper and a pen. Doesn't look especially happy. It's hard to read, like annoyed, agitated, and he's once he's sat down, he's got like some nervous sort of tics going on, like bouncing his leg or tapping the pen rapidly on the table.
They sigh. The alien is nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Then the time traveling madman who. When the professor is nervous at the get go, it is not going to be a pleasant day.
No.
No.
Okay, alright, this is fine. Everything's fine.
All right. I see based on the chat, Crystal's up next as she comes in.
Yeah. She won't. Selli will get a knock on the door if Chief Luma gave her instructions on where to meet.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Then yeah, there'll be a knock on the door because she's polite. She's not just gonna barge in.
I think Selli will go and open the door for Crystal. I don't think Selli and Crystal have met, have they?
No, they have not.
Oh,
So,
fun.
I think you get was this, I got a message from Chief Luma?
Yes, Miss Everlight, come on in.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
Dr. Crystal
Sorry.
Everlight, nice to meet you.
My pleasure. I'm Celeste Alamos. And she'll put her hand out to shake.
Yeah, Crystal will shake it.
And then she'll, smile, nod, and take a step back so Crystal can come in.
Yep, Crystal's gonna enter, see who is here, and just sigh.
Sit down, here's your tea.
Yeah, she will not resist that, like, just the, oh yeah, I can tell what is happening. Enough.
I am reserving rolling insight for Selli until everyone is here.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Speaking of, I guess. There is that pause. Everyone's there. Everyone's drinking the tea. And then there is a pumpkin orange outline that glows around the door. And then there is just, it opens. And the detective, little Lin Stagehand, strolls in like the cat who got the cream. It's just surveys the room. I want Luma to roll me an insight, if you will.
Of course, Luma roll insight. What is your
Professor leans over to Selli and goes, "Who's that?"
Oh, this is Detective Stagehand.
Oh.
And she's very capable, and
Oh, I know.
she's my brother's mother, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a 27.
That manages it. It's Chief Luma. As she's looking around, there is serious but calm, but as she does meet your eye for a moment, and it is basically impossible to get from anyone else except if she was actively wanting them to.
Mm-hmm.
But she's looking at you of, how do you want to play? Is everyone in the know? Because she's willing to play along to the gamble that you guys have been playing at before this, in the animosity. She's trying to see what one you want to go with here.
Yeah, Chief Luma looks at her and sighs and puts down his teacups. We have a lot of information and to go through, and now that everyone is here, hopefully there will be enough time to.
I'm gonna roll that insight now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Mm.
Oh, that's not good. I think Selli is just a little bit overwhelmed. Which is fair. What's your insight? Doodly doodly doo. I have too many tabs. Yeah, not great. 13.
Yeah, Lynn's, you're not beating Lynn's passive.
Nah,
Her
no,
passive
that's fine.
No.
Poor Selli's just sitting here going, oh, there's so much.
I rolled an insight too, just because that was a bit of a sus statement.
I'm gonna roll insight for Lin, but also I look at her passive deception. You guys are gonna beat her with your scores. I'm sorry.
Uh,
Okay, let's see. That is for insight of what the fucketh have you brought us into? Okay, that's insight. Okay, that's a 26 from Lin for vibe checking y'all motherfuckers.
Selli is overwhelmed.
No.
Selly's overwhelmed. Crystal's here, which yippee, delightful
Oh,
person.
Crystal looks thrilled to be here.
Yeah.
She can tell enough that something is happening, and she's just like,
Then there's also her favorite chicken.
Sit down. Here's your cup of tea.
Thank you, TOC. And who might you be? And she's looking at the professor.
I'm the professor. It's good to meet you, detective. I wish it were under better circumstances.
Aye, but I'm sure we'll have time to have a formal chit-chat or informal later on. Arthur, what pray tell is going on?
Since everyone has, let's start at the beginning. We all know what happened to the university with the ex-headmistress and
With the dragon, yes.
the dragon.
Okay.
We also
Before we go on any further, how heavily warded is this room? Because I don't want anything checking in on us while we're doing this.
that is a good point. As he goes over to the door, I am not very sure how heavily warded this school is, but I say rather be safe than sorry. As he seems to go to the door and he takes out something, it looks like a bit of chalk. Anyone who has a hint of magic gets the feelings like, you're gonna make probably something like a protection spell over this room. And he does. He does a small ritual, and the room glows with runes for a second, but then the runes disappear. There. We should be good, for this conversation.
Very good. Apologies.
No.
Carry forward.
No, I should have thought of it. It's just a lot has happened in a small amount of time. Like I was saying, we all know about the dragon incident with how the ex-headmistress got away and was defeated, thought was dead, then seeming to got away. After that, I had started to go into some deeper case files, since this whole thing after Crystal Everlight, with the help of Scribbles, he looks at her took a sample of the ichor and analyzed it. Discovering that even though it was not right, there was mixtures of other toon ink and real kind blood, but it was basically DNA of an Uda Magicae.
Oh.
An incredibly unstable mixture.
TUC was going to ask what all that meant, and then it was like, oh, okay, it's back. They can go with that. Okay.
However, this ichor also matches an older case. A much older case. One that has been basically around since the beginning of this city.
Chief Luma, before you continue.
Yes.
Utamagicae can shapeshift to whatever form they like. How do we know that everybody here is who they say they are?
Hmm.
That's a good question. He looks around. I think I have one solution. It's a bit of old soul magic that I've been taught from the clan.
Mm-hmm.
As he go, as he takes out something, and I need to remember this 1 second. It looks like a staff. From his hammerspace, it looks like a staff, but it's like in the shape of kind of a weird root. It's a pinkish root, which you find interesting, Lin, because it's the same sort of material looks like from what his wedding ring looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks to be his main magical focus. As he basically goes around each person, and you definitely feel a spell cast over you, but he says nothing as what looks like be like a small ritual for each one of them, and then he backs away. All right.
Hmm.
Everything seems to be in order, and everyone is who they say they are.
Okay. You may continue.
Could TUC look at Lin to be like, and this is like, is that enough for you? Because they trust her judgment on that sort of thing.
I want to say roll insight.
Alrighty.
Can I roll an Arcana, by the way?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
That is a 21.
Okay. That's enough to get the low level. That is not high enough to get the other part of Lin, because I just tripped Lin's fucking modifier for deception. It's
Oh, wait, excuse me. That's a 22.
still not high enough.
Fair enough.
I love her modifier so much, it's fucked. Okay. You, TOC, you don't know Lin especially well, but you do know Detective Stagehand enough. You know, shovel talker, ally. You see the way she's ever so slightly squinted her eyes. Just ever so slightly the corners of them. And the way her tail has curled in something that might be displeasure, but you can't quite pin it. But as she's looking at you, she does catch your eye. There's this very subtle pursing of her lips as though not an ideal situation, but she's willing to roll with it for now.
Noted. They will sip their tea.
Mm-hmm. I will also say that Lin, during all of this, kinda hasn't touched the tea. I'm sorry. She's pulled out a notepad and that sort of stuff, and is just on one brush of her brooch, and then she's been writing this time instead.
So, Winona, what do I get with that 21 in Arcana on what Chief Luma just did?
Oh, you definitely tell this is soul magic. Sorry, need to get something to drink. It's definitely you would say this is soul magic. It's very the way Luma casts a spell over you is just very warm and comforting. And it rests mainly on, you would assume, the fiber of your being, of your soul. and it's like almost like a quick checkup. Almost like a hand gently touched you and like looked over your soul to determine who you are, and then when Luma gives a small nod of approval of yes, this is who you are, let's go, and you don't feel anything.
Fair enough. Just yeah, like I think she wanted to understand what was like happening before she's willing to um like just let things continue on. Like if she thinks something there was sus, she would have raised it. And she's also a little bit on edge because that is a little bit of invasion of privacy, but she understands why it's necessary in this case.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Selly's just sitting here going, I could have just dropped Zone of Truth and we could have just asked. But okay.
Yeah. like Lynn, I will just say, Lynn is also, she tried to catch your eye as well, Crystal, because she knows you and that you'd probably be on this as well, and you know arcane bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. If she spots like Lynn's eye, she will give her like a small little like nod that like no, that was exactly what it sounded like.
The most subtle nod back. And then she's focusing back in.
Now, as I said, this was tied to a much older case, a case that we call the Forbidden Case, Case 10311. Back, started near where basically killings started to happen. No one knew the reason of their death. Cardiac arrest was the closest that we have gotten in figuring out what killed them. However, all the bodies had at least a tiny bit of this ichor on them.
That's not dreadfully encouraging.
Yes,
How many cases are we talking here?
an army's worth. For both civilians and detectives and police officers trying to solve this case.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking hundreds of people?
Yes, possibly thousands.
And we're sure this was an individual and not some sort of disease.
We're not, according to, if this wasn't, it was a theory back in the day, it could be a disease, but there was no indication of this. It wasn't passed along. But with the ichor that is from, the dragon's body, we can confirm it's a person.
Mm-hmm.
I was originally going to investigate this case alone. However, he looks at the detective. Well, anyone to threaten Detective Stagehand's friends have another thing coming.
Indeed. And it's been quite intriguing recently on those fronts. But the progress we've made together has been quite useful. And, well, it seems this plot is speeding up.
Unfortunately. Which is why I wanted to contact all of you to make sure I had all your information. The last of which he looks at the professor.
Yes, that letter you gave me. Professor, pray tell, what have you done?
I went down into the sewers by myself and I found it. And I spoke with it.
Are you all right?
No.
Fair.
Okay, thank you for being honest there. Is there anything we can do to help you in this immediate second?
No.
Okay. Is there anything that you need to be better?
No.
Okay.
Which it are we talking about, Professor? Do you mean the Icker?
It's the thing that is causing all of this is it was referred to in a what was thought to be a cryptic note by one of the detectives, and he gestures to Chief Luma in the case. Something about true eyes see the truth. If otherwise you die, there is a cancerous mass underneath the city. It's not a figure of speech. There is literally a huge lump of sentient flesh residing in the sewers under University City. It's a bit off of the mapped areas. I have described my note in my notes here, my route in my notes here. Detect Good and Evil didn't recognize it, so it's probably a monstrosity. I suspect I would not have been able to see it or access the space it resides in without the spell True Seeing, which Chief Luma kindly cast on me. The black globs of flesh fill the sewer corridor from wall to wall, ceiling to floor, with tendrils trailing out. Parts of it may be mobile, or it has a small scout. There was something that kept just out of my view as I was searching. When I found it, it was clearly a living mass, but it was still. I tried to take a sample with a mage-handed knife, but it woke up. And he's like tapping that pencil like really rapidly on the table. Pen.
Could TUC flutter over and just perch on his leg?
Yeah.
Therapy chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It woke up. Dozens of eyes opened. Red, luminous with a demonic-looking pupil. It spoke, in my mind, telepathy, high-pitched, bit nasally, used the pronoun we consistently, recognized me as one of those who took down its dragon, as it said, Umbra, obviously. It tried to grab me with a tentacle, but I dodged. I hesitated and spoke back to it instead of running away right then, and ended up getting grabbed the second time it tried. It then reached into my mind and like he's doing the like he's just doing a bunch of like nervous tics. It read a lot of my memories. Not just things that I was thinking of at the moment, but stored information in my mind that wasn't anywhere near the surface. Definitely more potent than detect thoughts. It commented on finding something interesting about my body and things I knew. Said it would need to run experiments. I misty stepped out of its grip, but didn't make it very far before it used Dominate Person to make me turn back and approach it again. It grabbed me and dropped the spell, and at that point, I had a small opening, so I used Dimension Door to teleport straight up, which landed me in the street. and then I came back to the police station to record all of this. This is what's been coming after people. It's extremely powerful. I think this is what cloned Umbra. It's going after intellectuals, especially people studying biology and biological interactions between toons and real kind. When the victim is close enough to an opening to the sewer, and this is conjecture, but it reads their memories, takes their knowledge, and kills them, potentially by psychic means, hence no wounds. It had Umbra keep a horde of professors, more intellectuals, to essentially keep its larder full at all times, maybe saving for an eventual feast or just picking them off slowly to last longer. It's unclear. I've now made myself a target. It's going to want me back, alive, at least initially. That's just about it.
Okay.
Someone should roll insight on Selli.
Mm-hmm.
Someone should roll insight on the chicken.
Yeah.
I'm rolling
insight.
I'm rolling insight on everyone.
Well, Crystal's not getting anything on insight. That makes sense because I think she is currently very, very deep in her head of what this means.
Yeah.
That's a 27 on the insight.
Yeah.
I will roll more dice if I need to.
Yeah, 23 for Luma. Though he could probably already assume what he's like, oh boy.
Well. Selli went through a few little phases as the professor was explaining that. When the there was the I went down into the sewers alone, and she was in the exasperated, why did you go by yourself? Then there was this kind of, how the fuck could you, that got turned on to Luma, with the implication that Luma cast something on you so you could go down by yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
By the end, she is sitting there. She is at the very edge of the very plush armchair that she is sitting on. She is doing prayer hands. Her pupil is very small. She is livid. She is inescapably and incomparably angry on so many levels, and I don't think she's been this angry in her entire life.
And that's saying something.
And that is saying something.
Oh.
Like, she's not quite shaking. She's almost maybe vibrating slightly, but she is absolutely furious.
TUC, I hope you don't mind me piggybacking off of yours, went through a lot of parallel stages, but ironically they're going to be ticked off later. Right now they've been in the professor's head. They fused once. They know maybe a fraction of what's in there. The professor has been privy to all of their preparations and investigations on this point, plus a bunch of other doomsday causing shit. This is pretty not great. And they also know that he is someone who, if he wanted to, could run very far away. And they are wondering if the situation calls to ask him to do that. They're also just looking around at Lin, at Crystal, at the professor, this is a room full of smart people. They are the barbarian in a room full of smart shits.
I mean,
this is not their dream team for this.
Yeah.
We need a moral support chicken in here.
Mhm.
We really do.
Oh god.
I might give a little bit of what Crystal's feeling as well, given those insights. Um,
Mhm.
she's surprisingly not really as angry as I thought she would be. And she's not angry at this professor as much as she is angry at Chief Luma for letting him go down there by himself.
Mm.
Because
Yeah.
she can tell that the like professor is like quite like, oh, I fucked up kind of thing.
Mhm.
He's been punished enough.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious. So, yeah, less angry on that front as much as she is concerned because she also knows enough about the professor's deal to know, oh, that's really, really bad. Like the amount of information that he holds on so many things, as
Including
well as like,
biology.
yeah, including that, and also including like she knows why his body would be of interest to
Mhm.
something like that as well. Plus, she also knows that the ellipsis is currently not functional.
Mhm.
Sick.
But
Yeah.
then there's also like a little bit of the she does research, and she does research in biology, and particularly like it's not focused on it, but she does have knowledge about the differences between toonkind and real kind.
Mhm.
And that means that she's also potentially in danger anytime she comes to the city.
Mhm.
Yeah. And Chief Luma takes in a deep breath and releases it. And unfortunately, we may, fortunately and unfortunately, we may know who may be coming after you. As he looks at as he looks at Lin.
Oh, real quick, could I describe how Professor's feeling for the people who rolled insight?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
Cool, cool. It's really just it's a wild mix of different things that sort of like, if my phone would just open, um, that kind of like uh flow between each other. But like for the people who rolled above a 20,
Yep.
he is angry. He's got a bit of an adrenaline high, startled, frantic. There's a hint of victory. He's intimidated, wary, annoyed at other stuff and annoyed at himself. Um, very hyper aware right now. Uh, Less of you guys since you basically have checked out. Um, uh, like he accepts from he trusts Luma that you guys are who you say you are. Um, and he's very fidgety, twitchy, and high strung.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So no one's having a good time.
Yeah,
Mm.
no
I
one's
mean-
having a good time.
I mean, Lin is.
We appreciate you, Lynn. We appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, Lin's kind of just processed all of that as well, fucking shit, that's not ideal. At the same time, this is Tuesday for her.
Mm-hmm.
So she's taken all of that in, written it all down, been studying everyone else as she does so. You can't tell that she's studying people because it looks as though she's just working on her writing. But Luma, the moment you say that, she actually lifts her pen and goes, yes, but also no. For a good reason.
Come again? As he now looked at Lin a bit concerned.
If you are referring to James, well, let's just say he's indisposed.
You know you have to tell me more than that.
Oh yes, of course. Well, is no way of summarizing this well, but I got all the information I wanted. I did get to, strip some wolves and access their hardcores. It was fantastic. I have gained such knowledge from them. But anyway, went into the woods, tried to find metal wolves. Did find metal wolves. Did find James. Had a wonderful interaction with James. He's no longer a concern. However, I do think we can get some very useful information out of him, especially if I give my informant the go-ahead. I was actually going to come to you afterwards. I needed to talk to you. Probably you as well, Crystal, seeing as you're affiliated with a person who's affiliated in this. Dear la-di-da.
Crystal just gives you a look and then just nods.
You mean there's an extra person that's connected to this case? Who is this?
That is not being shared currently, especially given the circumstances that you have raised of that knowledge being potentially compromisable.
Mm-hmm.
The miner?
Yes.
I did get some names from the situation I was in, by the way.
All right.
There's a name of someone, not one I'm particularly aware of, but one who's pulling the strings of this situation. A Father Harrison Patrick Kraft. Is anyone familiar with that name at all? Any history?
Mm-mm.
Could TUC roll?
Yeah.
You can roll, but it's a very high DC.
Alrighty.
Alright.
Oh, and my
I'm gonna roll one
plus
for Selli
0
as
to
well.
history.
No way. Oh.
Come on, Selli. History
That's
is
a
your
1.
thing.
Yeah, the chicken's just...
Oh no, Selli is too angry.
Candle! Yeah! Crystal! Yes, forever light!
Damn.
I fucking love you guys.
Selli is just too angry to think.
Honestly, this would kind of make sense because of, say, Crystal's background with especially with the main thing that the Belmonts, Belsings. Look, I wasn't subtle. Basically, Alexander's family studied one thing while they were, in Inkwell, and that was basically the study between the biology between two kinds and real kinds. So again, this would make sense. Crystal would know about this, but this is definitely still very, very niche information because he has put his name on some papers, but only a slight handful. Most of the time, from what you've gotten through partial research, like he usually doesn't put his name on stuff. But there's like only one or two couple research papers that you have. He's actually, ironically, more of a holy man, but he worked for their family and helped research.
Right. Okay. So research on what they did despite him not being a researcher but more of a holy man. Okay, cool, interesting. Yeah, I think then in that case she will sort of tilt her head and I recognize that name.
And you because Nat 20, you know the god that he was a holy man too, but it's a very old god. It's a real kind god, but the god is Lathander, and he is a god of basically it's a god of hope and beginnings, and is a basically also known also a god of dawn.
Huh.
Also birth, renewal, spring and youth. Also were other some things he also is a the god was was related to.
All right, interesting. Yeah, I think then she'll continue. I've seen his name on a couple of papers related to the Belsings.
Mm-hmm.
Though I do not think that he was a researcher himself. The impression I got was a holy man, or, well, that sort of thing. To a deity of hope and beginnings, of all things, which is slightly disturbing given the context.
I mean, it'd fit the circumstances. Aye. Yeesh. I can see it. I can see it. But he's the one who's been pulling a lot of the strings. One who's stringing a lot along.
To what end, though?
I mean, if we've got hope and beginnings, birth in there?
Yes, I believe their goal might be to create, well, for lack of a better term, a super race using the combined traits of Toon kind and real kind.
Oh, great! That sounds pickin' marvelous. All right. Why, though? I mean,
I don't know. Could just be the usual villain motivation, power, desire to live forever, conquest.
but it ties into other things. I mean,
Faith and science do not necessarily need to be mutually exclusive. If this individual is a devout follower of a faith, it could be religiously motivated that this is the will of the gods.
It could be a motivation that may not even really make sense to us.
the fanatical mindset. Oh, joys of joys. Well, not had a case like that in a while. This is me trying to remember shit, but being very foggy today.
I was gonna say, if you have questions, please ask them, and I will give answers.
Okay, so we know this god. What was the god in relation to Luma's people and the centaur shit that went down with the lost artifact or the stolen artifact sort of shit?
That was a different god. That was a different god. That's definitely more of a Toon kind god and everything. It does. You would know through your research and stuff that god from what you heard and what Crystal tell you, like that's a completely different god.
Oh, I'm fully aware of that. What
Yeah.
I'm here is stolen artifact is relation into all of this, and that's a Toon god, and this is a real kind god, and we're wanting a Toon and real kind sort of super situation.
You would know that Luma's god is a one that's based on souls and dreams. Very spiritual in origin.
And the artifact was something that was able to communicate with that god.
Yeah, communicate and connect to that god.
And that
Oh,
was stolen.
fun.
And that was stolen by these bastards.
Yes.
Right. I've not got the word capacity. Lin, however, is very clinical and connects dots, so we'll be conveying that to the party.
Ah, good fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. So they've got another god on speed dial.
There's
I mean, possibly.
it might not be calling the god, it might just be communication to soul. It's this entire situation revolving around soul. I do also want to say that James has been committing a lot of newly formed toon murder.
He's been going after children.
Newly formed, but
There's a difference. Newly formed can be children, but but it may when at least in this case, and say as the detective said, newly forms mean people who just sprung out of the earth because of the well of inspiration.
All right. Well, forgive us, real kind, but that's very conceptually similar.
it is, and it is no less horrific. It's
Indeed.
in a way it passes by the senses. In some ways, it's still royally fucked. What I'm getting at, in fact, actually, that leads me on quite nicely, is the idea of the well of inspiration. Part of this dealt in the well of inspiration's I forget the word at the moment. The liquid from the well of inspiration, very tasty. Anyway, anyway, what I'm focusing on here is the ink. The newly formed ink might have a relation to this. I mean, you're killing. The video cut out at that point. We can very much infer what happened there. We don't need to see that part of the snuff. Anyway, what I'm getting at there is killing of the newly formed, specifically tracking down newly formed as they newly form. There is a relation in that to the well of inspiration, to fresh ink. That seems significant to this entire situation and this idea of soul. This entire idea of... Because those will have next to no information. So they're useless for the intellectual side of things. They're there for the ink.
That's what they're harvesting.
Aye.
Yes.
They're harvesting ink,
And
they're harvesting knowledge of soul, of inspiration, communication with soul, creating that synthesis, which I don't need to explain how bad that is in this circumstance.
They may be trying to play. I feel like this may be obvious, but maybe they're trying to play God, trying to find the missing link of creation and how to possibly replicate it.
Probably. They seem like the type.
And we love that hubris. It brings a mighty fall. We just have to stop this, or at least cut off the head of the situation and disarm it.
Which could be difficult. We have a name, but we have no other information. However, if you did capture, say, him.
Okay. And I think I have a way of making him cooperate.
Yes. Does it have to do with the minor?
Aye.
That gets Crystal's attention.
For one thing, I am in no way insinuating in any way, shape, or form that we introduce the minor to James. What I am saying is we can use information about the minor through Mirror to get to James, to make him comply, get the situation. Because at the end of the day, how this started was love for his child.
So familiar. So they are by blood.
I would be careful about even telling us any more than you have about the minor, especially if this thing can pull information out of people.
That is as far as I wanted to go.
Yes.
Crystal, hold still a moment. And she's just going to cast message on you.
All right.
And just point obscures her lower face so it is just for you and just goes, Mirror can loop him in to a certain extent in showing him the child, which could get his full support in these matters as much as he is able. Do I have your approval? Because you know this child.
She's going to think for a little bit, and then as long as there's no mention of Mad Lad, that should be that should work.
Okay. I will need to facilitate a memory of Alexander to Mira. Mad Lad will not be mentioned. The rest, consider it done.
Yeah,
Mad Lad.
like
Is that
that.
the child's name?
No, this was all through message.
Ah, right.
Through
Sorry.
message.
Right.
This is all through message, and Lin is specific to make sure that no one else can see this.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so is Crystal. She would not mention the name out loud. Absolutely not.
Just want to make sure.
Absolutely no way.
Just want to double check. Continue on.
But after Lin's said all of that in this message, she then just leans back. I have no further questions in that avenue.
Who's Mirror?
One of her informants.
A need-to-know basis.
Mm.
You will meet them when the time comes, if need be.
Mm.
So,
I think just for like a little bit of reassurance, the thing that Crystal's gonna say to the professor is she did help in the case that I got Lin's help on a while back.
All right.
mhm.
He just nods.
All right. So, what I'm seeing as priorities here are we have got far too many intellectuals on this. It makes complete sense because otherwise we wouldn't have cracked this. At the same time, we have got you, and she points at Arthur. We have got you, she points at the professor. We have got you, she points at Crystal. We've also got you, she points at Selli. TOC, you are a delight, and we are so happy to have you. You are also technically at risk because of everything else. At the same time, I am so happy to have you here.
TUC toast you with a teacup.
That's my favorite chicken. All right, so
Don't forget yourself, detective.
I am very aware of myself, believe you and me. I am in too many plots to get wrapped up in this completely.
Yes, honestly, besides the professor, you'll be. Unfortunately, if he wanted to capture anyone, you would be, well, the grand prize.
I hate to ask this, but we might need you off planet.
I'm sorry, with the what now? I mean, what?
I need to roll some things now.
Sally's actually going to sort of blink and look over at Lynn, and she's got her head tilted to the side, and this is actually just shot straight through how angry she has been for the last hour. Have we caught you by surprise, detective?
You know, in the grand scheme of things, this doesn't even make the top 10 anymore, which is kinda picked. If we're going to see the moon penguins, I got people I can say hi to. If we're going further than that, holy peck!
Not to be a
Professor is
downer, but
not
do we
reacting.
have a way to get people that far away currently?
Professor is not reacting. He is acting as if he doesn't know what you're talking about. He is just listening as numbly as he's been for the past however many minutes.
Okay. Is that why Mira commented on this weird little plot that you... Is there a ship involved? Okay, we're tabling this for another point, because Monkey want to go to space? We're tabling that.
Who is she talking to? Because Professor is not looking at anyone.
Yeah. Lynn is just kind of looking at everyone.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
then she is going to stop, and she is actually going to very carefully just get up, and she's actually going to come towards the professor slightly. Can she roll medicine on the professor? Because he don't look too hot.
Could TUC also? Because I do gesture.
You're welcome to. Although Professor is going to be a lot more receptive to TOC.
Hi.
He is very wary of Lynn right now. And everyone can see that plainly. That he's not hiding. He can't.
That is a 26.
I got a nat 20.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
All right. I mean, physically, he's fine. A little. He's not injured. He's not ill. He is in the middle of an acute stress response. Like, he is still in fight or flight, apparently. Even though he is kind of pretending to be chill and calm and let people talk. I mean, you can't really tell anything else, I don't think, by looking at him. Like, just looking at him. Is TOC still, like, with Professor? Like,
Yes,
sitting on his...
TUC. I've been imagining TUC like perch in his lap, and whenever one of his hands gets close, they like take it and they put it like on their head, like there.
Yeah, and is a Luma size. While you were all talking about this, unfortunately, this does have to do with the security of this university, and I highly suggest that we put the university on high alert at least for a few days. As he looks at Selli.
We cannot suspend classes, much as...
I am not asking that. I rather inform at least the department heads of what is going on, or at least not all of it. At least knowing that there could be an attack, and they can organize at least more shifts in teachers so we can be prepared if anything were to happen, if that makes sense. And I'll make sure my police officers are also more on patrol, at least for the couple days.
Arthur, you know full well what kind of situation we are having with the staff. I have hired more staff, but it's not enough for a campus this size. We cannot simply increase our staff numbers. Also, I have some serious concerns if this thing, this mass that can read minds and steal knowledge, which I have a distinct issue with, is under the city, is under the university, and was using my campus as a feasting ground. It would need to have some access. And I cannot help but draw my mind to the tunnel that is just there. And she gestures to the bookcase that has the secret tunnel in it that leads down.
Could TOC stand up on the professor's knee and go, I don't think you need us for this part. May I speak to the professor in private?
Professor is just going to look at everybody else like, well, are they excused?
Where's my D10?
Hold on. Let's say Luma size. I'm not saying you're
It's a
wrong.
9.
Let's say I'm not saying you're wrong, Selli. But
Selly's gonna pull a little key out of her dress and give it to probably to TOC, quite honestly. And then there is a small meeting room outside the office just on the left-hand side. You're welcome to use that. And she's going to turn back to Luma.
Okay.
Is it
out
really
of
wise to be separating ourselves in this environment?
We won't go far.
Okay.
Out of sight from Luma, they're going to sign to Selli, fuck him up.
Okay.
And they will shepherd the professor out of the room. Probably
make
just
a deck save. Whoever's going out of the room first, make a deck save.
That'll be TOC.
That'll be TOC.
Motherfucker.
Okay, that's a 14 on the dice. And my save, 17.
Luma, what pray tell did you ward this place with?
It's not the wards.
Well, fuck.
Oh boy.
The moment you open the door, TOC, I need to get to my notes for 1 second.
Well,
Wait,
shit.
before horrible things happen, I will say TUC has the key in their hammer space.
That is noted.
Okay. Can anyone roll perception to figure out this fresh fuck as it happens?
A professor will roll perception because he's right there.
Yeah.
Well,
this fresh fuckery is happening.
16.
All right. If Winona gives permission, I'll have Lin roll Percepi as well, because this monkey is wired as if she'd never gone off the coffee.
I thought I had this written down. Hang on. I lost something in my notes really quickly. I had it written down earlier today, goddammit.
Try a word search.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, word
That
search.
works for me usually.
No, that's fair.
All right.
Appreciate the monkey. We really do.
Yeah. This monkey has been through so many plot lines and has picked up on so many plot beats, and she has apophenia, guys. She connect the patterns. She the paranoid monkey who been through so much shit.
And we
Is
love
it
you.
paranoia if it's always true?
Oh, wait, hang on. I'm a barbarian. Is this a danger I can see?
Hang on. What are you trying to do? I need to look at your character sheet. I'm like, I think I know what you're
Yes.
going for, but I need to know
Okay.
need to know something quickly.
I'm wondering if danger sense applies. It means that on dexterity saving throws against effects you can see while not blinded, deafened, or incapacitated, I have advantage.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. Technically, it would, but that's because it glows as the moment you step out of the door. You see something glow on the floor, and you're able to basically dodge out of the way as what looks to be like you can sort of see it in a way because like it's clear, it's sort of see-through. It's invisible, but it's like see-through sort of glass, if that makes sense.
Translucent.
Translucent. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
Mhm.
But almost like a force cage tries to snap up around you.
He's slamming the fucking door.
All right. Okay.
Hang on 1 second, please. As TOC, as you slam the door and dodge roll to the side, your heart drops down to your stomach as this doesn't look like the inside of of the building anymore, or at least not all the way, as the walls are almost leaking some liquid, as it almost is slimy texture, as like there's cracks on the walls, there's paint that's peeling off. Something has happened while you guys were talking and you had no idea what this is.
So the inside of the room looks like that, or the
Well,
outside of the room?
Selli's room is fine. Everywhere else in the building, at least as far as TOC can see, is totally messed up.
Got it.
Yeah, TOC slamming the door, and turning around like, we have a problem.
Lin, who got a goddamn 29%, looking at that slam door and just like, okay. Right. We're in the thick of it already.
And TOC, as you look at this force cage, it's kind of blocking the door, but at the same time, you can still squeeze out of it. It's like
the door is currently as closed as they can fucking make it.
All right, we Kool-Aid manning this shit.
I have a question. Unfortunately, does the door open inwards or outwards? Because that might change whether the door can be shut or not.
Oh, fuck.
I'm trying to think of this. As I look
I always
at
pictured it opening inwards. I always pictured it opening into the office.
Yes. Then
Cool.
yes,
Then it can be shut.
It can be shut.
Yeah, TOC is they will keep one wing on the door and the other they will pull out their pitchfork and they will look back at everyone like, it is, yes, it is.
Okay.
All right.
Miss Alamos, you said there was another way out of this room.
Yes, that's correct.
But unfortunately, that way is blocked. There's a way
It's-
to a deeper cavern, but there's no way out of it.
I don't know if underground is a good idea right now.
Yes.
All right.
That was also part of my concern. TOC, what did you see out there?
They will describe it in as descriptive, terse terms as possible. I think they're being an action to just kind of, if anything comes towards the door, tries to open the door, they're gonna fucking stab.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, what we got here? Okay, let's see.
Professor, could you, this might be a stretch, could you call Ellie?
No.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I usually have something that would enable me to get out of Dodge quickly. I do not want to use it here because whatever that is, I am not inviting it home.
Probably a good idea.
Aye, so there is us and there is this situation.
Yes. Unfortunately.
This is Lin's paranoia hitting the high degree. She is questioning how this entire situation came about. She knows Luma is safe. At the same time, she can't trust Luma in this moment. Because
At least not his judgment.
he gathered us all here. We had this long talk. He gave the professor true sight. Yes, he called everyone here. Yes, he has good intent. Lin's paranoia physically is stopping her from fully trusting him in this moment, especially as he has been able to cast on all of them. We ain't got jack shit on him. We can't test him.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just going, okay. We need options, and we need options quickly, because as fast as that happens, we need to get on top of this. I can... If I am gone for more than 5 hours, my people are going to know.
Good.
I've got a system in place on that, unfortunately. It's been very necessary. Alright, so...
There are two circumstances that I can see being relevant right now. Either we are no longer, strictly speaking, in my office and we are at somewhere else, or something is taking over the administration building, which means that the university is at risk.
Is
So,
there anything
unless
you can
anyone
do?
has any idea on how we can make any kind of determination on which of those two things it is? Because if there is something in the administration building, it is in the university. And it is the early afternoon. I have students on campus.
Is there a window in this study?
Yeah.
Can
Big
TFC
one.
look out the window?
The window is pitch black.
Is Crystal's gonna mutter, this might be a bad idea. She's gonna cast detect magic.
Okay, I want you to know that Lin was already raising her hand in the I know you're kind of, and you're already doing it.
At first, you get multiple things. You first detect say Luma's magic, which seems to be like protecting them from this outside magic that is making the windows say dark. There's basically two clashing magics, two wards in particular. However, you do get a feeling that you are a wizard, and there's a spell called wards and bards, where basically if something, whether it be a word or action, if something if you basically set the trigger off, something magical happens, whether it be like a fireball or something like that. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, like, Luma's magic is guarding him against this, basically, a very advanced, wards and bonds, where something has basically flipped the switch to make the bad stuff happen.
Okay. Can she tell if there's any sort of like I suppose it would be just trying to think, what would teleportation magic
Conjuration.
Conjuration. Any sort of conjuration magic. Can she get a feeling of whether they're in the university or out of it?
You get a feeling that you're still within university, with still the admin building, but you get the very strong feeling that you're trapped in this building.
Excellent. All right. Well, yeah, she's probably gonna drop the spell, because that's probably gonna hurt to look at for too long, and just I don't know if it can get in here with the spell that you put up earlier, Chief Luma, but it is completely surrounding us. Good news is currently still in the administration building. Bad news is we're currently still in the administration building, and there doesn't seem to be a way out.
Okay.
Do you remember that angry expression that Selli had on her face earlier?
Yeah.
There is an active hostile in her university. She angry.
Okay. Lin is going to turn to Selli and just go,
Oh,
Ms.
Roxas.
Alamos, is there any way of alerting the rest of campus from this room?
Potentially, if the phone still works.
Right. If you can try the phone, if there are any other dead switches or such, sometimes places like this have those for if there's security needs to be called. If you have one of those, I would advise flipping it.
She'll go over to her desk. Admittedly, she hasn't pushed all the buttons on her desk. But I think she'll pick up the
Why
phone.
would you not push all the buttons? That's the best bit about getting a new desk.
I mean, we did start this game with saying that Selli had the most self-control in this group.
Yeah.
There's that. And also, she's been fucking busy. She's been trying to rebuild the university more or less from the ground up because the dragon fucked shit up so bad.
Okay.
But she's going to go for the phone first, and I think she'll probably try and call through to... What was his name?
Amos?
That's the one! The conductor bootleg.
We have so many of those.
She's going to try and call through to that department.
Yeah.
Bard College.
Yeah.
You dial the number and you pick up the phone, but all you hear is static. However,
She's just going to...
please make it
carry on.
However, make a history roll.
History, all right. Come on, Selli. Hey, that is significantly better than the nat 1 you got last time. Wonderful. Nope. What is your history again? 22.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the phone's lines seem to be cut off. However, you basically know the schedules of all the heads. And you know that there's a good chance that only if there's still any left in this building, they would probably be near their say probably in their like offices within this building.
But Amos keeps his office in the college building.
He has
Yeah.
say technically there's two offices.
Ah, all right.
Yeah, but he didn't like the one in the admin building. Has he been using it since the change of management?
He has been, so he could be closer to you and try to help you out.
Oh, bless him. Doesn't help us now, though.
He's a bit fucked right now, but bless him.
Right.
You know that,
So,
and you know those rooms are currently, say, on the 3rd floor where you are. They're not too far away.
right. Okay. Selli is going to put the phone to her ear, take it away again, very slowly put it down. And you can just see her sort of take in a breath and sigh very, very slowly. And then she is going to go over to one of her large bookshelves, and she is going to pull a book, like a big chunky, like a binder sort of thing, off the shelf, and put it on the desk, and just flip it open, and she has maps of the admin building, and she's just going to put them there on the desk.
Okay.
Yeah, basically
Alright.
you see 3 floors of the building. You have the 3rd floor where the main things are your office, the college head studios, and then there's also a private lounge and kitchenette for staff only that has sort of like a kind of a key card sort of situation. 2nd floor, the main things are the records rooms, basically office areas and cubicles, and then there's the student administration center on one side. And the 1st floor has a small auditorium, a general lounge, and a history center.
If we are still in the administration building, which, if you are correct, Dr. Everlight, we are, we have a significant issue. All of the other heads of the different colleges within the university would have been in their administrative offices at around about this time. And we have lots of historical information in this building. While Arthur's magic may be protecting us in here, the rest of the administration building is not so fortunate.
What about your
And-
security cameras?
Well, we can look,
Okay.
but I don't know how useful they would be. The phone lines, even to the other administrative office, are static, so I suspect that all such communication devices outside of this room are ceasing operations.
Likely. Worth checking.
Indeed. We shouldn't rule it out. The other thing that we should probably focus on is TOC. When you went out, what was that? Something tried to snare you or such?
Some sort of cage-ish thing. I look at Winona. Give me descriptive details.
Force
This
cage
could-
would be the right term.
Okay.
They
Right.
say some variation of that with their limited arcane knowledge.
Okay. Lynn, who knows that spell because she's seen it in use before. Okay. All right. She pauses a moment, swears in a language that just Lynn, and then just goes, okay. So, something tried to snare you when you left the force cage. I'm familiar. It's activated by something. If we, for example, put an unseen servant in that, potentially, but if they are planning for multiple of us, and also it's a matter of keeping ourselves safe, if we leave this room, we are no longer safe. So, the specific wordings that you have used, Luma, what aspect of them do we think is protecting us especially? Because if we can replicate it for one or multiple of us or move it, we're going to be a little bit safer. Because I'm not going to lie, right now, this entire building is full of people, pardon my language, I'm sorry, could already be buffet.
He nods. Also, I made a mistake. Basically, this is an advanced glyph warding sort of situation. I thought it was wards and bonds. I think that also has to do with it. I got confused with spell names for a second.
It's understandable. I don't keep all of them in my head.
It's hard sometimes to keep track of everything.
I knew which one you were talking about, even if I couldn't remember the name. So.
Thank you. Yeah.
When Lin says that they might already be buffet, you can visibly see Selli bristle, like very, very obviously.
I know. I feel for you. If this was happening to any of mine, I would be tearing people limb from limb.
Yeah. Basically, Luma explains that this is a very high-level abjuration spell, which this is a Glyphon ward that he has basically sort of perfected over the years of being a detective, of basically keeping unwanted magic out, which basically he suspects that whatever triggered the bad stuff happened after he set his wards, so those bad wards couldn't touch him because of his wards.
All right. So
Before we decide on a plan of action, TUC can steeple their wings. I know this is a room full of people who care about me. However, pragmatically, if anyone needs to take a hit, it should be me. If any of you are taken, this thing gets scarier. If I'm taken, it gets not much of a mind, a broken down, cobbled together body, and a lot of new swear words for it to learn. Additionally, I am most likely to be recoverable.
Okay, I understand that line of thinking. I hope you are in therapy.
They kind of like,
Okay, I'm restating. You are going into therapy after this. If you are not already, this is
we
not
can talk about it later.
Indeed, we can, because we are all going to survive this, including you, and we are all going to get out of here, and we are going to have some tea and cake when we're done kicking this thing's fucking ass. So, I do agree with you to an extent there, especially given this entire kettle of fish that we're in. I'm not going to say the word because it would be above the rating of this entire room. Okay, so.
No one is sacrificing themselves.
Right.
TOC, it does not matter how well you think you can take it. You are not to martyr yourself.
Oh, good gravy! I have too many children for that.
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you. But
I would hate
that's kind, but no.
Would do if I allowed that. I think we have other options available to us.
And she's just going to cast Guardian of Faith near the door.
Ooh. I just realised something funny, which is Lin has cleric levels, so while we're not including Corvets in this, there's just the, hey my god, check this shit out.
I'm just gonna post that spell in the chat for you guys. But yeah, so she's gonna cast the Guardian of Faith and have this thing, which I haven't designed a visual appearance for, so you know. I don't know. I'll work on that.
Yeah.
But it'll appear there, and she just sort of gestures to it.
If we need a sacrifice to go through the door and trigger a ward or a glyph, we have means and ways that do not sacrifice any of the party.
I mean, I was just going to go with an unseen servant, but yeah, go off, I guess.
I do have access to counterspell and dispel magic, but limited ability to use it multiple times.
Okay. Luma?
Oh, speaking of, I'm casting mage armor.
All right. Professor, you with us?
Yes, in fact, I would like to cast something.
All right. What is it, if I may ask?
You know the drill. Crystal is just telling the professor. Because she already has her arcane ward coming up.
Yeah, he nods. I have motivational speech, which will help with you can't say that, Professor. That's medic. You can't read the spell description.
Look, I don't mind if you read it because I say it's nice to know for the audience, but we know what you mean, you know?
Yeah. Helps to fortify the mind and the body a little bit.
Okay.
And I can target how many people? I can target 4 people with that. And also that one takes a minute to cast. It lasts for an hour. I don't have to concentrate on it. Then there is one I do have to concentrate on. It is called Intellect Fortress, and it is exactly what it says. Again, an hour. This one I can only cast it on 3 people.
Well,
Okay.
do not worry about me. I can take care of myself. You protect your own. I have. He points at a ring. This is a ring of mind shielding, at least in technical terms.
Oh, handy.
It's looking to invest. All right, so you're safe in that way. I do worry to the extent of this thing being able to dominate minds and infiltrate. That is concerning to me, so we will still be keeping an eye on you.
No, of course. I say that we should probably travel as a group if I well, I feel like saying it out loud isn't gonna hurt.
We are not splitting the fucking party.
Again, I didn't think it needed to be said, but at the same time, for any
I am making it crystal clear. I have been on too many fucking cases. Ain't doing it. And we are going to desperately stay together. Okay? If anyone tries to leave for any reason, no, they don't. Now, how are we leaving this place? If the door is warded, we can Kool-Aid man this shit. I've done that before. Didn't go too great. The reindeer shit was annoying, but that's another day.
I feel like probably brute force isn't the way out of here.
Okay. All right. Okay, so if we have got you covered, TOC decent. We've got an option of 4 or 3. We have 4 people here.
No, I can do both.
Oh, you can do both?
I can do both.
Of course, one's concentrated, the other's not. Okay, have you got the spell slots? Because if we get into wild shit later and you need to concentrate, and I'm also saying here and now, you are fortifying yourself, okay?
Oh, I am.
You are a priority here. We are protecting you.
Was not a question.
Thank you. I've had too many instances where people change their mind on that.
You have 4, you said?
I have 4 for motivational speech and 3 for intellect fortress.
And intellect fortress is the concentration one, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Alright. Fortified speech gives extra HP, so that can probably be cast on like the party minus Luma and Crystal because of their stuff.
Yeah.
And then
Lin, TOC, Selli, and Prof will get motivational speech.
Okay.
That's at 4th
maybe
level.
holding on to the other one for I'm not sure about that one.
Okay.
The reason Prof really wants to cast the other one as well is because he was targeted by several he had to make a Whis save and a charisma save during his FPS. This Intellect Fortress, you have resistance to psychic damage as well as advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws. So that's all of them.
Nice.
Right. Can you put the spell descriptions in the chat? That might help.
Yes. I
Is this
am.
motivational speech? Because I actually have it up. If you would like me to.
Go ahead and put motivational speech up. I will put up Intellect Fortress.
Okay. Luma, how long does the glyph last?
He looks at his glyphs. About 8 hours.
Okay, that's nice. If push comes to, would we be able to return to this room or if shit hits the
Yes.
fan? Great.
The ritual.
Okay.
Yes, this will be basically our safe room. The ritual is how I basically tweaked the ritual over the years is it's an 8-hour safety net.
Okay.
Wait, this is up to 5 creatures.
Oh.
Yeah, it would be because that was the party for the way things go.
Oh, yeah.
Nickel for
Okay,
everything
so
that had
so
thing.
everybody except for wait, no. Crystal doesn't need it. She can't use it.
No, she can't use it.
Yeah.
Why?
Because she
has an arcane ward, which
you can't stack temp HP.
Yeah, I can't take.
Yeah.
You can't stay.
And hers is better.
Yeah,
Good to know.
I get a lot more HP from it, and it's
Mhm.
useful in other ways.
All right, Lin, TOC, Selli, Professor, and Luma are getting motivational speech. And Lin, Selli, and the Professor are getting Intellect Fortress, and the Professor is just gonna go ahead and cast those now, unless somebody has an objection.
I would like to volunteer Crystal as getting the Intellect Fortress just because she has a lot of ways to deal with someone who is dominated persons, because she has counterspell and dispel magic.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and a couple of other things that she can use.
You're right, and that is good strategically. Does that mean I cut Lin out or I cut Selli out?
Cut Selli out.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, out of the priority list, it's probably, Professor, Crystal, Lin, and then Selly was the bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can only do the 3 for Intellect Fortress, so
Yeah.
Cool. I have got that down. We are
Okay.
casting high-level spells.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. So that guardian goes out that door. That's going to activate the force cage. Then we've got to deal with the getting out around that and carrying on. We do not know to what end this entire situation is going on. The fact that I have not corresponded with my particular informant in a set amount of time before that 5 hours is going to put other things in place. That will be fine. What we need to focus on is handling this situation now so that we don't get got, and whatever plan is going on that was going to get us. Actually, would they have known that we were going to come here?
But
We would at least know where the head of the university's.
Aye, but we're here. Is the reason why this has been catalyzed now because we are here, or was it going to happen already? And if so, why?
it
Why?
happened now because I went down and had a conversation with it.
No, I
Did
get
it
what you're
trip
saying,
you?
Lynn. Unfortunately, I don't think we have the answer to those questions right now.
No,
Not
which
a
is
time
real
to speculate on it.
Aye, it's a real bitch of a situation. Anyway, yes, all right, so we're carrying on. Name the room we're getting to.
I'm sorry, before we get going, I just had an idea that was brought up by the fact of notifying people outside of this room what might be happening.
Mm.
Would Crystal's gonna pull out her plot device? Is she
Oh
going
my
to be able to get a signal out?
I'm
Oh
presuming
my god.
It is up to the DM. It is literally a plot device, so it's literally the DM's choice, yes or no.
Yeah.
Something seems to be blocking you. Unfortunately, this plot device tries to put out a signal, but it just bounces back to static.
Okay, because
You're definitely
Leadwall.
I think
locked
it would-
into place.
that's fair. That's fair. I just think it would have been really, really funny if the first thing that Crystal sends when she comes back online is the situation in University City. If you don't hear from myself or the professor in like X amount of time, please coordinate with Detective Lin's team.
Mhm.
you know the hilarious shit take of sending that, it not actually sending, and then later on people are gonna get that delayed message when we finally come back into the signal. Just like
Yes.
Crystal, we are honest gonna kill you.
so
Yeah.
many people are gonna kill us.
God, that's gonna be funny later.
Alright, so we are mobilizing. Let's get that room. Let's get this situation. This is going to go downhill fast. On the plus side, it's likely going to resolve itself within the next 24 hours, because that's how plots be in this bitch of an Inkwell. Let's go.
All right.
Actually, before we get going, could I ask for a very small break?
I was actually about to say
Mm.
before we continue on, let's have a break. Woo! All right. Let's say we'll be back in a minute, folks. We'll be back about maybe 5 minutes. Let's say 5 minutes on 50.
Okay.
Hello. We are back within the game, and our intrepid heroes are making their way to, if I have it correctly, where the heads of the apartment are.
Yeah.
At the very least, we're going to start with the ones that are on the same floor as Selli's office.
Yeah, which there's only only two other main places that there are, which is that is the wrong Word document. Which is the college head studios and then the private lounge and kitchenette for the staff.
Is there any spell or something that could be used to detect life?
Yes.
I don't have
Does
that.
anyone have it?
Yes.
Can we use it?
Mm-hmm.
Because I will just say Lynn will have muttered that, because that is something she would think of find, signs of life, because if we don't find any of those...
Yeah, especially once the moment you start walking around, it's pretty much dead silent.
Is it dark here, or is it...
There's
like,
still
what's the
still
vibes?
light, but it's like dim light. It's the spooky atmosphere light. You could still see, but it makes you uneasy.
Mm-hmm. So, Professor has detect thoughts, 2nd level, concentration up to a minute, range of 30 feet.
He's already
I
got
think?
a detection, concentration spell.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So he will think about it for a second and then be like, no, I can't. It's a concentration spell.
Okay.
Well,
Thank you
here's
for
the
bringing it to once.
yeah. Thankfully, though, Luma actually has that one prepared, and he looks at the professors. Let me try. As
Alright.
he cast detects thoughts as they walk, and the first thing he knows is where he stops at a certain part of the wall, because like this wall is weird. The walls are weird now. They're slimy. Some of them are full slickery black, similar in air to what you saw down in the sewers. Others are like the regular walls, like bits and pieces like are stuck onto it. And he goes to one portion of the wall where a jut of sort of like ichor black is sticking out, and he's like, I think there's something, or at least someone in this cocoon, but based on
Okay.
but based on their
Great.
thoughts, I think they're knocked out.
Okay.
Cool.
TAC steps forward, brandishing their pitchfork, like,
Right.
I can probably fix that.
That would bring us into awareness more. I mean, you said earlier.
It woke up when I tried to touch it with a knife.
Aye.
Before that, it didn't seem to be aware of me. Unless it was just playing with me. Who's to say?
I don't think we are going to be able to get through and get anyone out of this building without it becoming.
Okay.
I know I for a fact do not have the capacity to be stealthy. As you know, detective, I am like my brother.
Okay. I am going to remedy that with you a bit more at some point. You and I are going to have a little session. Right now, what thoughts can you detect? They're unconscious, but is there anything we can get?
These are students. I assume that they're just. I assume that there are probably more people like this. People that are not strong enough to resist this kind of spell. Looks like if I had to take a wild jab at it, are most likely trapped.
Okay.
Selli has her lance out.
Okay, ma'am, a moment, because if we trigger this, everyone could be in danger. Worse than they are. Luma, is the consciousness fading, or is it stable in unconsciousness?
Stable, thank God.
Right, so, right now, I would advise we proceed through. I know, I hate it, believe me, I hate it. But we need to prioritize survival to make sure that they survive. We need to get to the best people so that we have the best chance of success at getting everyone out.
Selli doesn't have words in response, but she looks grossly unhappy with that statement.
I know, believe me, it goes against so much of everything that I know. But I need you to be with me. Can you nod for me if you are with me here?
She's frowning, but she gives one singular nod.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now, we get to that staff room. We proceed from there. Let's go. Keeping in sight, keeping away from that. Watch our step.
Watch your heads too.
Aye.
I'm just remembering one of the first cases that Crystal had, where it dropped on top of her from the roof.
Oh, God. Lin already has it as I always look up because that's what she do. She will jump on someone's face. How's everyone holding up at this second as we make our way to this thing? Because Lin's gonna be looking at everyone to see what we clocking. What's the vibe check on these fuckers?
Shall we go in order?
Yeah. What would our order be? Because we need chicken.
Oh, just the order of the voice, the VC.
Oh, aye, true that. All right, chicken, how you doing? What's clocking? That is, by the way, Lynn would not be saying that right now.
TOC is on high alert. They are a twitch out of the corner of their eye away from raging and killing. They you probably want to roll it in insight through this, but they kind of feel responsible for everyone. They are the one bastion of didn't go to college-ness in this entire group.
Lin didn't. Well, actually, no, that's a lie now. Lin basically camps out on the tree outside the uni in Halloween Town. She no longer qualifies as didn't go to college.
Selli is technically self-taught, however, she works at a university now, so.
Yeah, TOC is the only one who doesn't go here.
He's never been to school.
That is a
TOC grew up in a swamp, okay? The
Yeah.
fact that they can read is an accomplishment. Yeah, they're I mean, they're not about to like jump and to take a bullet out, you know, that wasn't aimed for someone, but they are like, if anyone's gonna go down, it'd better be them because they're the one who is most likely to make it back up given what would be remaining of the group.
You know, Lin is seeing a horrible fun mirror of herself in that.
Also, it would be really funny if the dead god had to show up in the middle of this and just be like, "Are you serious?"
Really? Really? Right in front of me?
Little cringe, this one.
Right in front of my goop salad? Alright, so, how's Crystal doing?
Crystal's fine. I rolled a 24 on her wisdom before, so she's in work mode, crisis mode, which is the alright. Emotions can wait till after everyone is okay.
Yeah, honestly, mood. Alright. How's the professor doing right now? Because he's kind of a concern. I'm using the right pronouns, right? Professor he, him?
Yes.
Cool.
Still bad. Lin trying to check him out medically did not help. That put him, if possible, slightly on slightly higher alert than he was before. So, and he, like, unfortunately, Lin doesn't, like, know how he acts normally, so she wouldn't quite get this, but, like, I guess maybe based on how the others are concerned about him, like, knows that he's acting out of character, and the others, it's like, hey, he, like, isn't speaking unless, like, answering a question with, like, one-word answers, or, like, has a very important point to interrupt with. That's not normal for him.
Honestly, given the last case Professor and Crystal were on, that is concerning her.
Yeah, that one was also fucked up.
I'm not gonna lie, Lin has been working off of, you know, TOC's reactions, especially because she knew of a major link there, and Crystal's reactions to him.
Yeah.
And also, you know, has her own stress responses, so she's seeing a little bit. Just, she can't do anything in this moment about this stuff.
Yeah.
And she knows she is not a figure that he is comfortable with, so she is just working to not be seen as she checks stuff out. At the same time, she is going to follow up with this guy at a later point. She's interested in him.
Yeah.
Alright. So, I guess we've also got to figure out how we're going through these corridors, and I'm just saying here and now, the professor go middle.
TOC is towards the front. Actually, wait. I'm trying to think. They'd either take the front or the back, whichever they think would be more vulnerable.
Hmm. Uh, Probably the front because we do have like hyper perception Lin who can take the back.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah, I think the two of them would sort that out between themselves.
Yep. I was thinking barbarian front, barbarian back. So seeing as TOC wants to be at the front, Lin would probably give a nod of acknowledgement to that. Also, TOC, you have a bardic inspiration die.
Oh, lovely. Is that a D8 or D6?
D6.
Yay.
Probably one, if we've got Professor in the middle, it's a mix between the rest. Lin would probably want to stay close to Luma, and then it's just a matter of figuring out the rest. So it would probably be Lin.
Crystal's definitely somewhere in the middle. One, because she is squishy wizard, and two, because that gives her like pretty equal access to the rest of the party members if she needs to get to them quickly.
Yes, so how I'm imagining it, feel free to correct. Oh yeah, TOC, Selli, Crystal, Prof, Luma. So yeah, you know what? Whis, you're psychic.
It's one of my many talents, yes.
Yes, it is.
It makes sense that Selli's near the front as well, since Selli would know this building better than almost anyone.
That's true.
Exactly. It's the reason why I'd put her there. It's you've got Crystal in the middle, so medical, and also close to the Professor, so Professor has comfort. Luma is behind, not exactly ideal, however, Luma is with Lin, which puts them together on a good front. So you've got people who are tactical and can watch the back. You've got people who are going through it in the middle, with comfort person in the middle. You've got person who can direct and person who can take the hit. It works.
But I
Selli also
love
has very
Crystal
surprisingly
being-
high AC.
I love Crystal being described as the comfort person in this situation.
Yeah.
Listen, you need the professor to have an emotional support person while he's going through this shit. And the TOC
I know, but I think it's hilarious that it's Crystal.
Yeah. Anyways,
Golden retriever-ish, isn't she?
It's honestly her warm, comforting presence and knowledge on exactly what to say in a moment to emotionally comfort someone is inspirational.
yeah. Also, give perception checks.
Got it.
A perception check, you say? This is my favorite character to do that with.
You have the D6 if you so desire for this. That is a dirty 30 for Lin.
Love it.
28 for TFC. 18 plus 10.
I love us.
I'm glad that the people at the front and the back are seeing things.
I think it'd be really funny if Professor is like distracted by the fact that Lin is behind him and like he's just sort of like getting like the sort of like feeling of being watched.
I mean, she is part predator, so
Oh, Selli.
Aw. Yeah, but basically, as everyone who got above, Selly, this makes it to you too. It wasn't a high DC, but you don't hear as clearly as the others do.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, like you guys start to hear a murmuring as you get closer to, to the teacher, to the. My brain just fogged on me. I'm sorry.
Teacher administration area?
Well, yeah, is it where all the offices are? Yes, for the heads of the departments, and say Professor and Selly, you don't really hear anything. Everyone else, you hear comforting noise but you also hear like pain, like someone in pain, and with the 30, you definitely hear like, ow, 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 that's too tight, that's too tight.
okay. Lin's at the back. This is where I'm going to ask a question, and it's a rolling arcana sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
If we cast too much here, would it alert the being that is present here? I don't remember if we've got a name for tall, inky, darky sewer bitch.
I don't think
that's
we've been
I don't
given
think so.
any indication that it's spell sensitive.
Indeed.
Yeah, you don't know.
Indeed. It's Lynn's just trying to deduce from circumstantial evidence and such, because it's knowledge and thoughts more than it's ever been magic based, even if it's related to, I don't know how to pronounce it, Ura Magica or something.
Yeah,
Uda Magica, yeah.
Uda Magica,
Yes.
yes.
This is Monkey trying to deduce through understandings of knowledge and ability to make connection jumps.
Yeah, but at least for right now, there's something around the corner that you hear.
Yeah. It's. She's been in this building before. Is it enough to be able to recognize that, or would that have to be something that's passed along the vine?
Passed along the vine, you wouldn't really have, unless you wouldn't really
Uh,
have.
no, that what I mean by pass, like, you ever played Chinese Whispers?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I think. Do you mean telephone?
Telephone.
I think that's
Same,
another
same sort of thing.
Yeah, basically, Lynn's trying to figure out of A, does she potentially recognize this voice? If she's presuming this is a safe person, okay? By logical conclusion, it may potentially be a safe person if we're hearing comforting noises. She's still going to pass it down the line of potentially student or teacher ahead, listen out for voice. Because we don't exactly want to go, oh, we'll help you, person. Oh, look, we're in a force cage.
Yeah,
look, we're dinner.
I would give if you're gonna alert the others, Selli would have advantage on the next perception check.
Yeah.
I mean, TUC will turn around and sign, there's someone ahead.
Yeah.
Because sign language.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's what Lin would have done as well. It's just getting people's attention because hello, she's at the back. That's why we would do Chinese Whispers telephone sort of thing, not for actual whispering, but for the tug. Hey, sign this shit forward. TOC signing this shit backwards. We're gonna read.
Face it, them.
Yeah.
All right. Should I roll again then?
Yeah, roll again.
Please be better. Okay, you did the minimum that I asked for. Thanks, dice.
6.
Yes.
The voice is still muffled, and you can't discern who it is.
Like, do we just move in?
I mean, Crystal wants to, but she rolled a high enough wisdom before that she's not moving currently because they got to stick together.
Lin has the highest stealth modifier, and I'm presuming, and actually, what's the word? Whis, help me out here with the cleric thing of I go nighttime.
Oh yeah, you go bump in the night.
Yeah.
Just without a trace?
No, it's
There's a cleric
when-
feature for her from her patron. She gets
Yeah.
bonuses if she is sneaking in shadow.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
And there
Yes,
would,
you get
and this would be
specific-
I would say, a more shadowy area.
So, Lin, on seeing that Selli can't tell, is going to look at the others and just sign, I've got the highest chance of being undetected. I'd like to go ahead just far enough to peek, and then give the all clear or the flee. Is this okay?
Professor nods.
All right.
PUC will cycle back to the back of the group as Lin cycled to the front of the group.
Exactly. That honestly, that is how I hope they do it. I respect these two. These two got good vibes. And then Lin is just going to go ahead because she has got that. For a golden monkey, you do watch her basically blend. She even goes on all fours to handle this better so that she's at a different height, and B, diffusing her weight more so she's not going to make as much noise.
Alright, roll for stealth then.
Cool. That is a stealth is going to have, okay, so that's that. Okay. You know what? As a fun little trick, you also have guidance, and we're just going to throw that on because we find it funny. Okay, so that is that plus that plus that. Okay, so that's going to be a 29.
Yeah, your stealth as fucked.
Yeah, it is like watching a predator just go, because you cannot see the golden monkey anymore.
As you go
I'm
around
sure
the
that's super reassuring for the professor right now.
He's used to all these detectives.
Mm-hmm.
as you go around the corner, Lynn, and you come up upon this small group, as you see some familiar faces. You see Amos You see Amos. You see, say his wife Willow. You also recognize from like looking into the university. You see Luke, the head of the wizard college. You also see another one that goes by Bradley, who's the leader of the fighter college, and it's a small scene where Bradley has a sword and it's basically on point. As it looks like Amos and Willow are taking care of Luke, who seems to be injured. And Luke is like, "Ow, that's a bit hard." And Amos is like, "Oh, shut your yap. It's not that hard."
I love them.
Amos, beloved!
I love Amos now. I have known Amos for less than 20 lines in total, I think, and I love Amos. Lynn is going to go back enough to be seen by the others, and then you do just see her melt back out of the shadows as she's there, and she's fluffy, and she's gold, and she's here. And she does just sign the names of the people that she sees.
You can just sort of see this wave of relief come over Selli, and you can just sort of see her, like, kind of leaning, going, "Come on, we have to move the group forward. Let's go, let's go."
Professor's eyes light up and he actually smiles. He really likes Amos.
There we go. See, we have made this is in Lynn's head. It's just like, there we go. We've made connections. Brilliant. We've cheered everyone up. Let's hope this doesn't go to pot and shit. Let's go. Yippee. And she just kind of does this little rolling hand gesture of, yes, let's be careful, but also, yes, this is exactly what we came here for. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Professor will, like, turn back to Lynn with, like, kind of, like, a look and just sign, like, shapeshifter. Like, just reminding you, that's a thing.
Mm-hmm. You know what? That is actually going to get her thinking. And she's going to look at Luma again and just gesture at the head.
Luma nods.
Okay.
Right, we are going forward, it sounds like.
As you guys turn the corner and you get heard, you see Bradley, who is an older sort of man. He's around in his 60s, but he does have a very much physical build. Say he has blonde hair, he has blonde, short hair that is definitely Lin. You would probably know as like a militarized hairstyle, and you know because of your looking into backgrounds, he originally was from the military. So he was actually a high-ranking general at one point.
Yeah,
And
Lynn absolutely got everybody's track record, and she's paranoid enough to have gone to the roots, just like, okay, we're gonna make sure what happened with this whole shit with the dragon doesn't happen again under Selli, because I like Selli. Selli deserves nice things.
yeah, and Bradley first shifted his shifted his weight and like points the sword to where you guys are, but then upon seeing the group, he slowly lowers it. Oh, you're all here. Are there any injured?
Not at the present. Are you? Oh, such a grief to see you.
And Selly's gonna, like, as much as breaking away from the group is acceptable at this point, she's gonna sort of move over to the others because, hey, injured party! Hey, cleric!
We mainly got. Oh, don't worry about Luke. We got him patched up pretty much right away. The boy was working on a spell when this all procked off, and well, caused a nasty explosion.
Selly's just gonna look at him and then look back at Amos.
Were you trying to tourniquet his leg off?
Say that again, Whis.
Were you trying to tourniquet his leg so hard it comes off?
I was not. He's just a wimp of a wizard. Hey, ugh,
Can I roll a medicine, by the way?
yeah.
They do be squishy.
Thank you.
They do be squishy. As Lynn's saying this, she is also looking at Luma to see what vibes he's getting with, like, detect thoughts or whatever he's if he's got that going still.
That's fair.
It's 10 minutes, he might.
Yeah, I mean, straight up, if all of a sudden these guys are all thinking, ooh, we have fresh meat, then we probably hydrate.
As far right now, he seems to be he does not seem to be doing negative interactions. Like everything seems to be in the clear so far.
Great, he's our moth in the coal mine.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do I get with that 19?
Basically, yeah. Luke has definitely been hit with a heart attack, but yeah, on one arm, yeah, Amos is probably wrapping him a little bit too tightly, while his wife Willow, who is a red-haired Eladrin, a tall woman, very nice paladin, she is wrapping Luke's other arms like pretty expertly, like she's done this a million times.
Alright, but good enough to get out of here then? Like,
Yeah,
stable enough that it'll be fine for now?
Yeah, he is okay for right now. He's definitely taking a beating though.
Alright.
Selly's just gonna sort of take the bandages off Amos and gently give him a bit of an elbow out of the way and loosen the bandages a little bit.
All right. I'll leave it to the healers. I'll leave it to the proper healers. You wouldn't happen to see, say, Jesse or Clank, would ya? While you were wandering around?
You're the first familiar people we've seen.
I was just curious. We sent those two to scout out the rest of the building. Haven't come back yet.
We did seem to see somebody stuck in a pod of some kind.
I want you to know that Lynn had turned to look at the professor, was going to make the eye contact of we can probably deduce who those people in the pods were, and then the professor just outright has gone and said it.
Selly just sort of put her head in her hands.
I hope we've been seeing those pods around too, just even around here. I hope it wasn't them, but at the same time, this place seems to be a trap, a death trap.
No
Was
way
there
of knowing
one-
right now.
And she's gonna glance one more time at Luma just to confirm that these people are safe of mind. Because she
Luma
is
gives
thinking of...
Luma focuses and he hesitates a little bit, but then gives a slow nod.
We do have a secure place that may be a potential place to bunker down with all of this going on. There is question of who can be trusted. I am not doubting you, but you might come across people that you think you know that make things dicey. We would advise getting there and coordinating from there, coming up with plans, perhaps, for how to proceed and how to get as many students out as possible. The telephone lines and main communications do seem to be down.
Yeah,
Trying a sending spell, it has not been tried yet, but could be potential. Unsure.
It's possible nothing could get out, since even lines that are not connected to the university itself are currently down too.
Makes sense. As Bradley sort of straightens up his sort of tie. You say sort of in a nervous fidget in a way. He's just like, they're obviously trying to trap us and possibly cut us off from the outside. Easy tactic by whoever this is. And
They would have had a long time to set it up, too. Umbra was headmistress for a very long time.
Luke gives a nod. Yeah, I actually have to agree. Just by the sense of the magic, this has been a long-awaited trap that has been now sprung.
Do we have any idea what could potentially have been the triggering event if it's so old? I mean, yes, I know part of it, but at the same time, to have it happen like this.
Plus,
It's entirely possible that we served without knowledge. And
You're cutting
if
out.
that's
Soft-spoken characters, my god.
it's entirely possible that we were being served without knowledge, and it was a decision.
cut out a
especially-
bit.
I'm going to turn the gain back up on this thing. There we go. Alright.
Third time's a charm. It's entirely possible that we were being observed without our knowledge. And if it was awakened by other actions, it was simply biding its time.
How many dishes can you get at the buffet? Alright.
I do wish you would stop saying that, Lynn. Please.
well, it doesn't make it any less true. At least for right now, there's plenty of stuff within our offices that could possibly be helpful.
Alright.
I say we should gather up materials that we can find and stick together.
Okay, as long as this is going to get incredibly dangerous. I am fully aware that as teachers, your responsibilities and your placement, if any of you do wish to go to the safe room, there is no fault and there is no shame in that.
Honestly, and Willow speaks up, I think, Luke should probably go to the safe room at least. And despite our efforts, he is still pretty weak.
Alright,
Best not to send him alone.
aye, that's why I
Goodness,
just...
no.
I will go along with him. Well, you guys get materials from our offices
Okay,
if you can.
alright.
You have to tell them what the room is.
My office is warded, and there is a guardian standing outside the door. This
And she gestures to the stuff.
does not seem to be able to get in. So you will be protected there. And frankly, a larger group moving through is a lot safer than even 2 people.
How about I go with them then? I'll make sure that they're good.
Alright, so how many of us are going to this new location? Are we bringing any of you, or are you all going vamoosing the hoose back to that?
Look, I'll go with we'll go together, just Luke, Willow and I, and then we'll come right back here when we're done.
I mean, it's a hill and a basket up the crapper, but alright.
Look, we're all in the crapper right now. We just gotta stay safe and try to make sure we protect the weak. As he looks at Luke.
And the strong. No one is a martyr.
I didn't say
She says with the tone of someone who said this already today.
I did say I was a martyr. If there's any trouble, we'll be running back here. Don't you worry. Come on,
Right.
Luke. Let's get out of here. As he helps up Luke and Luke one side and Willow in the other, and they start walking to the office.
There is one thing she actually thinks to say. Just, did you see any of this shit go down?
It was kind of. Luke sighs. We basically almost had the same experience. Everything was fine one moment, then there was a just sort of wave of magic, and everything turned almost black. And then, well, I lost concentration on my spell, but, well, basically the walls turned like this, like goop started trying to grab at us. Thankfully, we were able to fight it off. It's trying to like cling us to the wall or something. And Luke nod, yes, which while trying to escape, I messed up my spell, which, well, caused an explosion.
Yeah, kept you out of it. So, if it works, it works. Thank you for your
Did
service.
the explosion have an effect on the ooze?
It didn't seem so, other than it's like burned.
Mm-hmm.
Could be heat, could be fire, could be light.
Whatever it is, we'll figure it out. But first things first, come on, Luke, as they go down the hallway.
The moment they're out of sight, she's just like, just signs, we're gonna have to check those guys if we see them again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, so we've got them. Raid the rooms on that front. You've probably got a master key or something silly. We play it by ear as we go, and we try and after this we'll probably need to find the heart of this, and she is signing all of this. We're probably going to need to find the heart of this situation, because we're going to need to exercise this to, restore all the balance, get everything back, la-di-da-di-da.
What's everyone's passive perceptions?
22?
14.
20.
12.
20.
I'm just checking.
16.
I'm just checking where the fuck is it on the sheet. 22.
Yeah, which is fair. And you see Bradley give little nods to their plans as he begins looking around to see if there's anything left in Luke's office. But according to him, what it looks like to Bradley it's pretty much clean. And Luma is basically taking notice in this also, and sort of since he's the closest to Bradley, sort of takes a look around too. And then Bradley starts going to the next door, and yeah, everyone make dex saves as he opens the door.
Cool.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Alright, who's got the, This is me before we know the roles completely going, does anyone want a bardic inspiration?
I already got one, and I got advantage because I can see this.
Yep, indeed. Okay, that is a 19.
I think I'm okay.
What was
Okay.
it? It was a dex save?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
Well,
That's a dirty 20.
Okay, this is Dex. So that's a Dex save. So that is going to be a 24, I think. Yes.
20.
oh, Celeste.
So wait, who got
Does
this?
she need a
So-
D6?
Who got the 16?
Crystal.
Okay, and then Selli. Unfortunately, you two are caught up in this as the door opens. Basically, plants spring out of it like almost like a toy box. It's just like plant growth starts in basically in an instant, in an action, in a snap, just grows everywhere. And
I know that spell.
and basically basically, unfortunately, because they're right there, Luma and Bradley are caught in the in the thick of it, and basically are pretty much cocooned in this they're pretty much cocooned in this plant growth, while Crystal and Selly are caught in it, but not as badly, as everyone's able to dodge out of the way.
Who's closest to TOC?
Based on the order.
Probably Selli then. If the order.
Yeah. We probably would have, as we'd clustered in, still done it as like the order sort of thing, so Selly's the closest. At the same time, Lin just looks so tired now because we should always check for traps when we're opening something new. For the love of
Bradley's a fighter, man.
I
Who doesn't check that shit?
I know. This is specifically why Lin is just here going, Arthur, for the love of God.
Alright, TOC, I think they'll go for Selly first. Was it Crystal who was also
Yeah,
caught?
Crystal and Selli, yeah.
Yeah, they're just gonna grab Selly by the armpits and just yank.
Roll for strength.
Roll for strength, you say?
Mm-hmm.
They would like to rage, and so get advantage. Alright. The first one. That's a 19.
Yeah, the vines are very thick, but you're still able to pull Selly out of there.
Immediately going for Crystal.
Make another strength.
That's a 19 on the dice, so a total of 26.
Again, the same with
Nice.
yeah. Again with Selly, the vines are definitely wrapped around her pretty good, even a little bit better than Selly. So you're able to pull her out a little bit faster.
They're a gardener. They're used to detangling things from vines.
Mm-hmm.
You just get a soft thank you.
They pet.
It's
And
like
they
Crystal
look around.
had
Oh
a
shit,
way
there's more.
Yeah. Crystal had a way to get out on her own if she needed to, but she's trying to conserve spell slots at the moment because something tells me they're going to need them in the future.
Is that everybody who was caught, or?
No, we got two more. Lin's coming in. It's we got
The
Bradley
NPCs.
and Lin's gonna kinda, if there's any bit of the wall that isn't, degooped to hell, she's just going to make her way around the doorway of this to just, lean down and fish for people.
Make an say, Lynn. What would this be?
If it's a climbing one, then she doesn't need to as a beast barbarian.
No, I know this.
Okay.
Investigation. Let's go with investigation.
Oh, yay! I love investigation. Let's for fundy-doos. There we go. Okay, that is a investigation, which is a +8, so that is going to be a 24.
As you
24.
tried to get to say, the first thing you notice off the bat is like, this is similar to like, again, sort of like a glyph of warding. Like, this is a spell, plant growth, that was definitely enhanced and magnified in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's magnified in a way that basically Bradley and both Bradley and Luma are completely trapped in these vines. And you even notice the goop like connecting with the magic of the plants and is slowly trying to it's very slow, but it's also starting to consume these plants too. Like it's almost adding another layer of protection.
Is the goop in contact with Luma and Bradley yet?
It's more surrounding the vines so they can't get out.
Okay.
Could TUC come over to assist?
Lynn, you would know that this, even with TOC strength, you're pretty sure that they can't get out. But
Yeah,
you do hear mumblings of Luma as he's like trying to bang out. He's like, "I'll try to get out on my." Say you hear like soft murmurs like, "Lynn, are you there?"
She's gonna cast message, and she's got one hand raised towards TOC. TOC can roll insight if TOC likes, but then it's also gonna cast message and just go, "I'm here, Arthur. We're all here. We all made it out. It's you and Bradley in there. The rest of us, we all made it out."
Shit. I mean, I'm glad you're all right, but I'm sorry that I wasn't able to have enough reflexes.
Happens to the best of us sometimes. Okay? It's a rookie mistake, but these things happen.
You think when you're this old you stop making rookie mistakes.
That's how they get you.
I'm not very sure about you, but I don't think I could find a way out. Starting to feel a bit sleepy also.
Stay awake for me.
Trying
Okay?
to.
Just stay awake, alright? What would you do?
TUC will try to move forward again.
Yeah. She's got a hand up to you, TOC, and you have successfully rolled high enough. You see a look in her eyes of someone who knows they can't get someone out and is just trying to be there.
Luma sighs. I'll be
You
fine.
still there?
I'm still there.
Okay. Alright, is Bradley awake with you?
Bradley seems to be awake too. He's trying to slice out of the vines, but they're hard as steel.
Okay. We're gonna get you out of this, alright?
Lynn, you can't stay in one place for a while.
I know, Arthur, but I want you to know we're gonna come back for you, okay? We're going to get we're gonna get all of you out, okay? I know.
I was gonna say, you think I had the thought you wouldn't? You need to worry about yourself. Don't worry about us for the time being.
I always worry, Luma. Try and stay awake as long as possible, okay? Both of you. Do your best.
I will, Detective Stagehand.
Alright. Last thing, Detective Luma, as an old hat yourself, if there was anywhere you were going to go after this, You've been on this case longer than the rest of us, which makes this less than ideal.
Hmm. If I had to say, based on the patterns and stuff, I'm pretty sure this is a being that does not like leaving loose ends. I honestly say try to find survivors here. If you
Okay.
find survivors, you'll eventually find them.
We'll do it. All right. Have faith. Hang tight. Give it hell. Give it some nasty thoughts to chew on, eh?
I'll try.
Oh, I'm sure you can come up with something.
Oh, I probably will.
All right.
And I'm gonna roll something really quickly.
If it's something that you want a high number for, you can have a d6.
All right.
As in, if it is of a benefit to Luma and Bradley, not if it is you being a motherfucker.
That's fair. Though Bradley does pipe up. If you're gonna say Bradley is gonna pipe up, still can't cut out of it. Though I know the other three are in the office, but I did see earlier before this happened. I think Dahlia may be in the lounge in this floor. I say go make sure to go check on see if she's okay before going over there.
We'll check. Thank you for the tip. Keep trying.
Try my best.
I am just sitting here going, are there any spells that you have, Lin, for addling people's minds? Because that would actually be kind of useful when you're putting someone in this hell. No, you don't, which is actually kind of good, because, Lin, that's a bit fucked up.
A bit.
Just, we're about to let this thing feed on these guys. What if I fuck their minds up so that they'd be less helpful? Lin, Jesus fucking Christ.
Lynn's been hanging out with Mirror a bit.
Lynn's been building too many contingencies too long. She needs to go out and touch some grass. But she does just finish there. And she does just go, Detective Stagehand, signing off. And she stops casting the message, and TOC, you, for a moment, in a way that other people will not, you see that regret of someone who knows they have to leave others behind. And then she takes a deep breath, and you just see a calm monkey again. As though those emotions never happened. All right, we've done everything we can here. We need to keep on.
Blades aren't doing it.
No.
Okay.
And we need to proceed from here. There is a Dahlia in the staff room. That is somewhere we will need to check next. We need to keep finding allies. The more survivors we find, the closer we are to getting to the bottom of this and getting everyone out.
Are you trying to locate?
That just got a little bit more difficult considering we lost our best way of checking people.
I know. It's not ideal.
It's not the only way to check.
Indeed.
No.
I want you to know that I had raised my hand in the gesture right as you spoke, as Lin was going to indicate who was the best person. I find that amusing. Anyway, carry on.
Before they move away from the plant growth, TOC will just for a second reach out and grasp one of your hands and then very quickly let go and move on.
One of Lin's?
One of Lynn's. Just a very light, very quick squeeze, and then they are reassuming their place at the front of the group.
She gives no real indication of anything, but there is the ever so slight crook of a very faint smile. And to anyone else, it would look as though it was a monkey with a perfect plan.
Are we trying to find the center of this being?
Part
'Cause
of
I
it,
know where it is.
but we need to get out of here if we're going to access that. Or down, I suppose. We need to get to the heart of it at the same time. Putting ourselves at the heart of it puts ourselves in danger at the same time. If we can get supplies without triggering any more fucking traps. If we can find more people, we can find better resources to better handle that. At the same time, yes, we know where the heart is, it's just access.
We also don't know if that heart was mobile. It has
No.
enough movement in it to do this.
Oh,
And
clearly.
it knows that you know where it is. Not the professor.
Okay.
I know that when it grabbed me, it tended to take me in a direction. It had something it needed to get back to.
It wanted experiments. That means it has a lab base or somewhere to experiment.
Yes.
That is incredibly difficult to mobilize, especially if you've got active agents or such that you need to use. And given your not design, but being, you probably want a few things there. Okay, so we figure that out. Okay, I advise we get to Dahlia. I advise we beef glyphs of fucking wooding. We deal with as much as we can, and then we get onto that, because that is going to... I'm going to say here and now, as much as possible, we spare our slots. I believe that's what wizards call them nowadays.
Mm.
We are going to need as many of those as possible to do as much damage as possible. It still might not be enough, but I have hope, especially with this group that we have.
Can we all agree? No more opening doors without checking them first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I love Arthur. He's a great guy. I'm telling his wife on this stupid shit. Why do we keep opening the doors? I was trained better than this.
All right. Yeah. So basically, you guys move along. Thankfully, you don't proc any traps as you go to the lounge. And Selli, you would know Dahlia as the elderly, say blonde, say furball. Sorry, I had to think of the racist name for a second. Elderly furball, say druid professor.
We got a furbolg. Oh, joy.
I love her. Say she's a treat. I love her.
So Selli is going to be distinctly looking for Dahlia as soon as they get to the lounge. Like, she's not leaving the party, but she's like, sign of Fairbulk, where is my tall grandma friend?
Yeah.
So I suppose I should roll something for that, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Why are you rolling so shit? Why?
I'll do this and a picture of. Can I get also picture token of Amos? Yeah. Basically, I have 2 tokens for them.
Are you in the background where we don't know tokening us as we're going along through this place? Have you got a little battle map that you're figuring out in the background? Because I heard you use tokens just then, and I'm thinking, oh, never mind.
Nope, it's just art. That
Just
happens to
art.
be tokens.
Mm-hmm.
Those are adorable.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't exclude them from being part of a battle map, but
No, but we gotta look at the Amos one back when we did, back to the beginning, I think.
When we had our first tour, yeah.
nice.
Yeah, but basically you find, let's say, what did you roll?
11. That's a Persepi.
You do hear a slight hum as you get to the lounge, and the previous locked door seems to be open. As Dahlia seems to be cooking something.
In this circumstance?
Girl.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Lynn's in her head just going, okay, so that one's dead to us now. Cooking in this circumstance, that's sus.
Yeah. God, Crystal had like a similar reaction of the what are you doing?
One of those tropes when you walk in, like, there's a bunch of horror shit going on, and then, like, you walk into somewhere and everything's business as usual, and that's the scariest part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lynn's
I don't
just
care how pretty the music is, you're still on the Titanic.
Yeah, I'm looking. Lynn's looking at TOC, and she's actually making her features known here in the "I don't want to go in there" kind of expression.
Well, Selli has a responsibility to her staff, so she's gonna go in and check. She's got her lance, and she's making her way forward, cautious, but she's gonna try and follow that sound.
TOC will like grab her and be like, hold on. If we absolutely have to do this, I will do this. But do we absolutely have to do this?
Yes. Yes.
Sighs.
We do.
Why is she doing that?
If I get cocooned, it is your personal fault. Actually, it's not a funny joke to make right now.
No,
It would
it's
not
not. TOC, please.
I can
I'm
mage
giving
hand the door if you'd like.
That's a good plan. We're all going to stay slightly out of sight. TOC, when all of this is said and done, I am giving you a hug.
They kind of shrug at you like,
Selli is standing sort of off to one side a bit so that she can be out of range of whatever happens when the door opens.
Yeah.
Well,
We're
the
just
door's already
hoping-
open. You can look inside as you see
Oh, okay.
Dahlia basically making herself some like nice sort of fancier cheese sandwiches, grilled cheese sandwiches, since there's a toaster oven in this lounge.
Okay. Is there goop on the walls or anything? Or
There is. There's goop on the walls and everything, but there's like the plates seem to be clean for right now for what she's using.
Jesus Christ.
You have put this
I think the
paranoid-
phrase here is cheese and crackers.
Right, get out. Yeah. Although I do think Lynn does agree with the mage handing the door open more to see specifically how Dahlia reacts.
Dahlia's
Because... Oh, yeah, you go.
yeah, sorry. If you're doing that, then Dahlia's ears twitch up and looks towards the door.
Yeah, as a mage hand opening it.
Is someone out there?
gosh, Selli doesn't know what to do.
Can...
It's the most batshit stupid thing, but Lynn actually kind of wants to cast message of why are you making grilled cheese? She won't. She won't yet. But honestly, she just kind of wants to ask without alerting where they are. It would say if they were in 120 feet, yeah. At the same time, why are you making grilled cheese?
Professor looks like he's ready to bolt.
Yeah. We need allies. We need allies. We can't trust this ally, but we need allies. Why the fuck is this happening? She wanted to just continue skinning wolves.
Message isn't a bad idea. I mean,
Yeah. So, does Selli have a message?
No, she
Okay.
does not.
Lin is going to sign to Selli and go, if there was one sort of phrase you would say to one of your staff to let them know that it was you and it was safe, what would you use?
Oh.
That's up to
haven't
Selli.
been around long enough.
No. I got nothing.
Alright. Lin is going to come up with something if you don't.
Yeah,
It's
just come up.
Yeah.
Come up with something, that's fine.
POC will be at the ready.
This is just fucking stupid. Sorry, I'm having the moment of Lin, this is actually something you are fucking doing. And it is, I'm going to corpse like do this. Just does cast message out of sight of the door and just goes, Headmistress Alamos would like to know why you are cooking grilled cheese during potential apocalypse.
Apocalypse? Yeah. Dahlia definitely sounds confused as she looks around. What do you mean apocalypse? There's nothing going wrong. I'm just making a late night snack.
Okay, she
What time is it?
Well, it was 6 p.m. when Professor went down into the sewers. So it's probably like 8.
You know, in Giant, she just goes, Madam, read the room. The walls are gooped.
What do you mean goop? I don't see any goop.
You know what? Fair enough. Have a nice day. We are not making this one an ally. Literally, she ends that call like that, and she just goes, "We gotta go."
Professor's
I
already
will
fucking moving.
I will give people a chance to roll Arcana if they want.
I want.
I'm rolling.
I
Arcana.
want! I'm not good at it, but I want!
Sure, why not?
Yep, I'm not good at it.
I'm adding guidance to this. Okay.
So that's a dirty 20, or excuse me, that's a nat. No, hang on. That's a natural 19 minus 1, so 18.
It's a dirty 20.
I just find it so hysterical that Lynn's just like, yeah, no. I fucking love how shitty this particular call was. There's no right call to make here. I rolled in the wrong place. I got 22.
It's literally a nope.
Yeah, it was just Lynn that has seen enough cases, been through enough shit to go, nah, I ain't dying this way. We ain't going to that, honey. You ain't taking us to no secondary locations. This ain't that kind of horror movie. I ain't that kind of person.
All right. Let's see. So what did everyone get? So I see 20, 22, 18. So anyone who got above a 15 basically is like, oh yeah, she's under a spell. She is definitely under a spell. However, the 20 and 22 is just like, oh, this is a high level spell. I know that spell. That's Gios.
Oh, good!
You motherfucker to the furbolg.
We take that personally
Which
from
is very
Halloween Town.
which is very fitting that the bard and the wizard knows this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lynn, who's partner was under gas for months. Lin, whose nephew was under gas for months.
Whose son was under Geos at one point too.
Yeah.
Crystal, who, I gesture at her job, would know what this is.
Selli didn't roll high enough, but she actually knows that spell, so...
Yeah.
Professor didn't roll, he just assumed.
Yeah.
He was just like, I know this thing likes charms. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
TUC is shuffling everyone along. TUC is shuffling everyone along.
He's being careful to investigate, however, because he doesn't want to get trapped.
Yeah. We're all going together. We'll get back into our formation that we had. Lin is...
I think there's a slight resistance from Crystal before she gets shuffled along, because she does have a way that could help, but it's not guaranteed to work, and they need to kind of hold on to these things for like more dire situations. So yeah, slight hesitation and then keep moving on.
Geos can be removed with greater restoration, which I've got prepped for the day.
Professor has it too, but he can only cast it once.
How many times can Selli cast it?
Oh yeah, she's only got 1 5th level slot.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know that all of her other 5th level spells are actually useful at the moment. Because she doesn't have damaging magic.
I mean, if you want to spend it and get an ally, you could, but we might need it for ourselves.
Yeah.
She's just making sandwiches. Like, she's okay where she is. She's as okay as you can be in this situation.
Who is she normally?
She's the head of the Druids College, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah.
So she's someone who can deal with plant life. Like exacerbated plant growths.
Are we jumping back in character?
This is me thinking in and out of character, because this is Lin mode activating, and I do not control the mode at which Lin do.
Okay. Let me do the think thunk. Okay, so we have access to greater restoration a whole twice between the party.
Unfortunately, I just had a
willing
look.
to-
I can't help in this. I do have remove curse, but it's currently not taken today, so...
The only 5th level spells that I've got, apart from greater restoration, is Legend Lore, which is not useful right now, Mass Cure Wounds, and Raise Dead.
Mass Cure Wounds might be good. Professor has a use of Legend Lore if we want it.
It takes like 10 minutes to cast, I believe.
Nope. It's okay. Well, yeah, it does take 10 minutes to cast, but it doesn't take a slot because it's attached to a magical item, so it's a free slot.
Fascinating. I didn't know that. Okay, so...
But it's like not useful right in this second, and probably won't be that useful in the immediate situation.
So you've basically got Mass Cure Wounds or Greater Restoration.
And Raised Dead I've also got, which I hopefully wouldn't need.
Hopefully we won't need that one, seeing as we want everyone alive. Legend Lore, does that mean you can like ask a question like where something is, or is it...
No.
Okay.
Oh, I know why you have Legend Lore now.
Yeah. No, Legend Lore, it has to be something legendary, otherwise, like, you don't get information. So, like, you can ask about something of, like, great renown, and you basically get, like, a divination response. And it could be dodgy, it could be, a false legend, for all you know. It could be, in a riddle, or it could be straightforward. But,
so
like,
we couldn't ask it about the legend of this forbidden case. Where the fuck are you, you little fucker?
No, it's not that useful.
No, not that useful.
No, you could spin it to try to ask about like the god maybe, but like you'd have to have more the more information you have, the more you get.
And
The more
we've got
specific.
bare bones. We've got this
Yeah.
fanatic, and this is the name of the god, and they stole shit.
Yeah, it's not really useful right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Potential for
Yeah.
later, not right now though.
Indeed.
Yeah. But yeah, I say I know that you're tired, Vwild. I know say author's a bit eepy. I say we could call it here if you want and decide what you guys want to do when we get back.
Probably a good call. I mean, how much longer did you think we had of this mini section?
I mean, it's. I mean, there's a say. Let's see. You still have 2 other floors to explore. Because you've only cleared the 3rd floor.
Yeah. We found an old furball cooking paninis and went, no, that's too scary. I'm going to treasure that forever as a Lin who was face down gods unflinchingly looked one moment into furball Paniniville and went, no.
All right. Well, is there much left of this floor, Nona?
No, you cleared this floor.
Okay. Well, okay. I think from an in-character perspective, Selli is going to be thinking, and then she's going to sign it so that you can actually hear me because she doesn't have volume when she. It's not taken her into the walls. It seems to be leaving her alone. She may be safe enough where she is.
Okay. Then we carry on.
It's tempting to ask her to go to my office, but I'm not sure if there is anything else on her outside of just Gias.
You know, something I've just thought of, if we've got 2 people who are going to be coming back this way, we could always leave a sticky note on the door of, this is what has happened to the person inside. You know what? Oh, sorry. Yeah, you go.
What are the colleges of the 2 that are coming back?
The 2 that are coming back are Bard and Paladin.
Bard.
They might have something that could help.
Okay. I'm going to write basically a triage note of what's going on in there so that they can try and help if they can. If not, they get paninis. And so she just pulls out like her notebook, which she'd put in her pocket, and she's just going to write a quick note. And then just, you know, tuck it at eyeline of Amos.
I think, like Crystal will gesture like she can use Mage Hand to put it on there just in case, because we probably don't want to be touching walls or doors or anything like that at the moment.
Lin hands it over readily as the yes, good plan. And then after we've left the scary, scary Panini Furball, is that where we shall call it for this fine day?
Yes.
Oh, did Lin mention what happened to Chief Luma and I've forgotten the other one's name. Was it
Bradley.
Bradley.
Bradley, that's it.
Bradley, our dearest Bradley, who we are mourning for.
I mean, we saw them get captured and not get out, but I don't think she shared her conversation.
No.
No. I meant like leave it on the note about where they are.
Oh.
You know what? That is a really good idea, especially as if they do free Dahlia, she's going to mention where it is, and she's also going to put at the end, for the love of gods and whatever you believe in, check every door for glyphs.
Yep.
Just, it's very empathetically written. And yeah, it's just make sure to note all of that, note the locations of those key things. Details that they're carrying on, but not anything further than that, because let's face it, if these guys make it to us, brilliant. If they don't, and something else finds this note and heads down, yeah, we're fucked. We're fucked anyway. We're fucked up to Tuesday to Wednesday, all through March.
Oh god. Okay, I had a really funny idea about where to put the note.
Oh god,
Because
please.
I'm like, where do we put the note that like it doesn't get covered in goop and potentially gets lost?
Oh, you
What if we
put it in
stuck
the
it
car.
on Dahlia?
On her back?
Yeah, on her back.
You know what?
Hey,
Yeah.
hey guys,
Yeah?
TFC has a pitchfork.
Oh my god, what the fuck are we doing?
I don't know what you're doing now. I was just gonna call it there, but you had to make this all complicated.
Listen,
Just stick the note to her back so that if someone comes along and finds her, they can read it.
You can mage hand and stick the note on her back. That's fine.
Yeah.
with a pitchfork, apparently.
No, what's that? What is the pitchfork gonna do?
Well, you've never done that thing where you put a sticky note on a stick and use the stick so that you can say, "I wasn't anywhere near them."
Oh.
It's the poor man's mage hand.
Okay, I have never
I think the
heard
mage
that
hand
before.
might be easier.
Yeah.
It's a cantrip.
Yeah, I've never heard
Yeah.
that before. I fucking love it, and the mental image of a chicken trying to put a thing on a fireball is fucking sending me. But yes, let's use the mage hand, and then let's call it and go do our honk shoomy mimmies and go pet our ginger stupid cats.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening in on this part 1. And say we'll wrap this up most likely in part 2. We will see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.